Welcome to Double Fries No Slaw. Myself, TJ Pittenger, alongside Richie Barnes. We're early today. We're 4:00. This doesn't happen super often. Richie, how's your weekend been? How you doing?
Good, man. Just had a nice, relaxing day yesterday. And then, today had my mom over to the house for lunch. So it's nice to see her. She just got her second dose of the vaccine. So she's feeling eager to get out in the world. So always good spending time with her. So me and the wife cooked dinner and ready to talk some Florida State. Yesterday wasn't great from a Florida State standpoint. The whole weekend wasn't great unless, for our ladies teams that luckily carried the program. But how about you, man?
Pretty good. We went to Disney yesterday. I had a great time there. But yeah, not the best Florida State weekend, but hopefully we'll rebound and have a better one next week. What did you cook? Like, I see your steaks and stuff all the time that you like. So what did you make? Like, don't let me down here.
No, so my job was I made a chicken Italian sausage. The wife made a nice little pasta with a block of feta cheese, something she saw online. It came out really good, actually. So I think my mom was probably appreciative because I'm normally a red meat guy on Sundays, and I know she does not like red meat that much.
Gotcha.
So the wife came through in the clutch with a really good meal. All I had to do was make sausage and Texas toast.
Love it. Dude, it is cool. Like when you get a little older and you start, all right, this has nothing to do with the show, but you like start cooking for your parents and stuff like that. And they're like super appreciative. And then like when you just knock something out of the park and they're like flipping out over it. When you sent me that prime rib recipe, which takes no effort at all, guys. It's the easiest thing that you could ever do. Richie will post this later, but like excellent prime rib, takes no effort at all. It's fantastic. My parents like raved about that for weeks. Like it was so, and I'm telling you, so easy. But anyway, yeah, it feels good. Like when you can take.
So that was actually my plan of what I wanted to make today. But we didn't get to the store yesterday, and you need that prime rib has to sit out for like 5 hours to get room temperature, and there's no way we could have pulled it off. So I'm like, all right, we'll pivot, and it worked out nice. So
you were gonna make prime rib for your mom, even though she doesn't like red meat. Like that's how much you.
Well, she loves it when I make it.
Okay,
right. I'm sure for Easter we'll probably make a lamb roast, and she'll come over and she loves that. So all good though.
It'll be good stuff. Double Fries No Slaw brought to you by Guthrie's in Tallahassee. Appreciate them. Have had. My goodness, this is live, so I won't edit it back. But have had some good conversations with them here recently. Probably going to have a giveaway with them here, not only soon but often. Going to have some things going on with them. There are two locations: 1818 West Tennessee Street, 2550 North Monroe. Go hit them up. There's also there's locations popping up everywhere. We've got locations in Atlanta. They've got locations. There's one like right across from Clemson there in South Carolina. Like, go check them out. Kind of know wherever you are that's close to them. Obviously, they're founded in Alabama, so a ton there. I don't know how many people in Alabama listen to Florida State podcasts, though. So, Richie, just jumping right into it. We're going to be quick this week. We're going to kind of go around the horn to steal from the Four Letter Network's show and talk some FSU sports. Going to basically hit on about everything here and then wrap it up and get out of here. We're going early because I'm taking my wife out to dinner tonight. Our anniversary is tomorrow, but we're going out tonight to Charlie's. So that'll be fun. We're talking about red meat, so that'll be a nice dinner out. No kids. We took kids out for Valentine's Day, but we are dropping them off at the grandparents.
Is Burns booked full?
We went to Burns twice at the end of 2020, so we just kind of wanted something a little bit different.
We got you.
But no, we definitely could have. It's a little easier to get in because people aren't like they're still full, but it's easier to get in. Yeah, we said we tried Charlie's. It's been a little over a year and a half since we've been there. So anyway, spring football starts next week for FSU. We'll start with football. Football is obviously what a lot of people care about. Not a lot of FSU news outside of that. Spring football, though, starting. Excited to see, the reports that come out about Milton. Saw him on the timeline. I saw Logan's video of No Game Day. I saw that he was squatting about 300 pounds. Seems like a good thing for a quarterback or anyone that's had a complete reconstruction of their leg. Who else? Milton's the obvious answer, but who are you excited to see from on both sides of the ball when spring rolls around?
Yeah, man. For me, it's I'm really intrigued with all of our transfers. Right, Jamie Robinson at safety, Jermaine Johnson, the defensive end. Watching him get after it. Keir Thomas. All the transfers really that are on campus. Obviously, we don't have Parchman yet from Kansas. He will not be partaking in spring ball, but I'm excited to see the transfers and what they can bring. Adam Fuller, he's kind of on the hot seat entering the season, but he's got a lot of help on the way of experience, proven SEC help, which is a huge deal. We had the defensive back from Arkansas, McClellan, a lot of those guys. And I want to see, some other guys that didn't really play much this year, like a Ja'Kai Douglas, a Corey Wren that, have elite all-world speed. How do they look? So obviously it'll be interesting to see what Florida State gives us as far as content goes. But, and as you mentioned, Milton's the obvious one, right? And I thought what was most impressive, you mentioned that video that Logan posted of him doing the squats. He didn't have a knee brace on while he was doing that, which I thought was a pretty big deal because that shows both, his doctors and he trust the rehab process. And it'll be a lot of fun. And, something Florida fans can't say is to see their new fancy transfer because he decided to leave after like a week.
I was hoping that you would find a way to get a shot in there, and I'm very proud of you for getting it done. Eric Gilbert, the former five-star tight end from LSU that had decided that he was going to join the Florida Gators, announced that he will not be attending UF and will be announcing his final decision when he enrolls and steps onto campus. So good news, good decision for him for sure.
We don't need him following Kyle Pitts, man. That's just not fair.
Yeah, I would assume that he saw that, the greatest tight end season in UF history, the most prolific offense in UF history, just kind of finished 8-4 and probably decided to make a better decision than going there. So good decision for him. Speaking of recruiting, Florida State's number one commit for the 2022 class, Travis Hunter, got his 5th star last week. Number 3 overall player for 247, certainly the bell cow of the class. I mean, in one of the top players in the entire nation, right? So exciting for him. We've talked about this, but if Florida State can just find a way to win some games this year, which it all kind of plays into it, they're going to pick up more guys. Now, you're not going to pick up a ton of guys, that high all the time. But, man, what an accomplishment for him to pick up that 5th star.
And that's the great thing about Florida State. We've had – it feels like a decade of down years, but it's only been 3. But at the same time, they've built enough cachet from the, late 80s up till, today to where you can have a player like that who was all null. He's like, no, I'm going to Florida State. I've seen them at the pinnacle. I want to help get them back there. And, he could go anywhere in the country. Alabama, Georgia, they're all calling for him, saying, hey, man, why are you going to Florida State? Come here, win a national championship. But he grew up a diehard Noles fan. His whole family is diehard Noles fans. And like you said, number 3 in the country on the 247 rankings. He's number 4 in the composite. Rivals, I don't know what they're doing. They have him outside of the top 10, but that's just pathetic. But man, he is just crushing it. He had a big week 2 weeks ago at the 7-on-7 camp, playing receiver and cornerback. So I'm excited. There's a lot of debate from Florida State fans, it seems, that should we put him at receiver or corner? I think the easy answer, you got to keep him at corner, let him return kicks, let him return punts, and put some packages for him on offense. But you got a guy that talented and you can lock down half the field on the other side of the ball. I think you have to play him there, right?
I don't know. Can you play both ways? Can we put some packages, like you said, put some packages in on offense? The only there are arguments, and we'll have a debate episode on this at some point. But the idea of just like stellar rock star defenses anymore is just not a thing.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Like you play college football to outscore the other team, at least now. Now, does that start to flip back after a couple of years with defense down this year because of the pandemic or whatever? So that would be, I think, the greatest argument for it, in my opinion, is it's easier in Mike's offense to win I'm sorry, with Mike's system to probably win with offense and considering the landscape of college football. So if that's the case, maybe you do consider him on that side of the ball. But either way, I mean, just a guy that is going to make a massive difference one way or the other. And like you said, yeah, if you throw him in at cornerback and then have some packages for him on the offense too. I mean, yeah, I don't know how realistic that is or not. I mean, it sounds good here. It plays well on NCAA 14, but I don't know how realistic it is. But we'll see. I mean,
what a good problem to have. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Great.
Man, we've been doing this too long, TJ. But seriously, like if you have one of the top 3 players in the entire country committed to you, and you're like, well, should we play him at offense, defense, both ways? I mean, every school would love to have that kind of issue when it comes to evaluating a guy that's committed to them right now. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to debate it again at times. We'll have to get some people on here to talk about it. We may have a guest next week that we can talk about that with a little bit. But, yeah, no, I think that, like you said, great problem to have. All right, now for my favorite part of the show. We're going to get off of football. Favorite part of the show, this segment starts out really, really strong. It kind of tails off at the end, but Richie brings it back up. I've already seen this. I've already watched it. It's really good again this week. Without further ado, Richie Barnes' Basketball Minute.
Riding a 3-game win streak, the Tribe took to the road, traveling to the University of Coral Gables for a rivalry game that has been awfully one-sided as of late. The Hurricanes came out in Cat 5 fashion, taking an early 4-2 lead over the Noles, but that would be the last time the Canes would be on the right side of the scoreboard. From there, the Seminoles would storm back to the tune of a 19-2 run, capped off by a Scottie Pippen Barnes jumper, leaving Miami mystified. If it wasn't already clear to the U, things were not going as the way when Big Balsa Koprivica stole the ball, went coast to coast, and finished with ease at the rim. The Tribe would take a 3-touchdown lead to the half, up 49-28. The second half was nothing more than a formality, as the outcome in this one was never in doubt. Down 18 points, Miami's Isaiah Wong decided it was time to make a statement, driving to the hole and looking to put Raekwon Gray on a poster. But the outcome would be less than ideal for Wong, getting stuffed at the rim and thrown into last Tuesday. But the star of this show was the sensational Sadar Calhoun, stepping up in the absence of MJ Walker and leading the Ham Bones with 16 points, connecting on 7 of 9 from the floor, ensuring a sighting of the classless Caucasians late. Noles 88 to U 71 and 7 in a row. Then on Saturday, the Tribe took to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Heels 78, Noles 70. Despite the minor setback on Tobacco Road, the Seminoles remain in first place of the ACC with 2 games left to play, hosting Boston College Wednesday night before traveling to South Bend, Indiana this weekend.
Florida State 1-1 on the week, remains in first place of the ACC because of percentage points. Records are all kind of weird and messed up this year because of cancellations and reschedules and postponements and things. Great game on Wednesday night. Never in doubt. Miami's pathetic and terrible. So, awesome to beat them as always. Very expected. And then yesterday started out well. Thought the first half was good. I was walking to the car from Disney, looked down at my phone, and what did we leave by? 6 or 8 at the half. I don't know. You probably know.
We had a 16-point lead at one point in the first half.
So looked down, saw we were up big. Looked at Karen. I was like, oh, great stuff. We're going 2-0. We'll be top 10 next week. And then I got back in the car after loading everybody up and everything. And I looked and we were like, down, second half had just started and we were down, only 2 or 4 or something. So I was like, plenty of time, but just could not complete the comeback late. Everything from missed free throws to turnovers to mistakes. To just let UNC hit a few too many shots, some rebounding issues. So really just everything that could go wrong in the second half did. And thus, Florida State wasn't able to win in Chapel Hill. Road ACC wins are really tough. Road ACC wins against Blue Bloods that have an insane amount of talent are tough. UNC is not a great team by any means this year, but you have to play better than we did to get a win. And we didn't. I watched the highlights again this morning and so watched a lot of the second half on my phone as my wife drove before I get canceled. But not the most fun performance there. But all we have to do is win 2 more games and we win the ACC. I think it's important to win the ACC. Nobody knows what's going to happen with the ACC tournament this year. I think the women's tournament happening this week, which we'll talk about in a minute, will be a good indicator. But nobody knows what's going to happen with the ACC tournament, the main tournament, or anything else. So we need to win these last 2 games and win this conference, because that's the only thing we can theoretically control as long as these next 2 games go off. BC is really, really bad. They have 4 wins on the year. Notre Dame is a very average team. But again, a road game in the ACC in South Bend is not going to be easy. It's also going to be the pressure of winning the ACC. And I'm sure there's nothing Notre Dame would love more than to play spoiler there. But 2 wins that should happen this week. Florida State should win both those games, certainly the BC game, and then they should beat Notre Dame as well. Obviously, a loss by UVA in either of their last 2 games, which I think they have Miami and Louisville to finish up with, would clinch it for FSU as well. I can't see them losing to Miami, maybe Louisville, but I don't want to win it because I'll take it. I would take the ACC by virtue of them losing, but I don't want to lose, or I don't want to win it because they lose. I just want to win our next 2 games and finish out the season 2-0. Do you think we do it? Do you think we win these next 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, real quick, going back to the Saturday's game against North Carolina, that's just it could not have started out any better, and I think the first half was a much more better representation of what these 2 teams are when Florida State kind of dominated. But then North Carolina, they played well above their level, man. They're a 65% team on the year from the line. They shot 90% yesterday. That's the difference right there. If they shoot their average, we're going to overtime, or it's a 1-possession game on the last 10 seconds. So North Carolina, credit to them. They had some guys step up. They played really well. They got down and fought back. I think it was the first game of the year where they were actually allowed to have fans there. The governor of North Carolina just allowed fans at sporting events, and it wasn't many, but it does make a difference. And hats off to Carolina. It was a great win for Roy Williams, and shout out to Roy Williams at the post-game press conference. The very first thing he said before he took any questions was Leonard Hamilton needs to be in the Hall of Fame, and we could not agree more on this show. We had him on here a few weeks ago. He deserves to be in there, and he will. But to answer your question, we'll probably be favored by like 14 against Boston College, and then Notre Dame, it's a tough place to play. Just like you said, any road game in the ACC is tough, but they should win that game. And if they do, I believe that's Saturday night. I'll be on a bachelor party this weekend, so I got to find a way to put that in there. But man, I'm gonna hustle to put together my 2nd straight ACC championship basketball minute. I know the last one was on the Rollcast and on this show, but I cannot wait to do it for this one. I do think we take care of business. It helps to have Ham, Stan Jones, Coach CY, all those guys who won it last year against Boston College at home. So it's for those to be one of the 2 teams we closed it out with, I'm excited. But I think we do it. Nothing's a given, especially this year. It's really funky. We saw some weird upsets today. Villanova lost a weird game. So I'm just excited. Butler upset. Yeah, but was it Villanova? Either way.
Yeah, that was the game.
Yeah, so and Butler's not good this year. It's not like the Butler from 10 years ago.
2008.
Yeah. So it's exciting, man. I think we're gonna do it. And with the best part, we don't need any help. Like, we have 2 games. We're in the driver's seat. We don't need a loss. Just win these 2 and get it done. And I think we get it done. And we'll see what happens from there. But I think we're looking at most likely a 3-4 seed. Could potentially get up to a 2 seed if you win the ACC tournament. But I'm just excited. I'm more worried about our bracket, who we draw at this point, than anything else, because we know we're in the dance, and I'm excited to be back. And man, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, Florida State plays Wednesday night at 9 p.m. against BC. Hate to count your chickens, but that should be a win.
Yeah.
And then Saturday they play at noon at Notre Dame. So I like that it's not a night game. I like the noon start. UVA, for those keeping track at home, they play Miami tomorrow night, 6 p.m. And then they play Louisville Saturday at 4. Hopefully, when they're playing that Louisville game, it is a meaningless game for them. So Florida State basketball, we're continuing around the horn here. Florida State softball, we had Coach Almeida on last week. They swept the weekend, 2-0 against Florida Gulf Coast, 1-0 against Southeastern Louisiana this weekend, going 3-0. I told her she had a little pressure on her after coming on the show because everybody else comes off the show and does great things. So it continues. We talked with her about this. They play UF this weekend on Friday and Saturday. Friday in Gainesville, Saturday in Tallahassee. Kind of a fun back-to-back there. Logistics are kind of weird with that due to COVID, but little 2-game weekend series. Hopefully we can go 2-0 there. Women's hoops finishes the regular season with a win. I just got the notification that Coach Brooke just retweeted us. We had her obviously on a couple of weeks ago as well. They're currently the 6th seed in the ACC. Obviously, there are games still happening, so this could get shuffled a little bit, but they will probably play Clemson, who is currently the 11th seed in the first round of the ACC, and then potentially number 3, Georgia Tech after that. But again, kind of all just projecting it since there are games going on right now. And like I said, I think that women's basketball tournament in the ACC is going to dictate, kind of predict how things look for the men's tournament the next week. So hopefully everything kind of goes off without a hitch there. Did you catch any softball or basketball this weekend for the ladies, Richie? Richie just dropped out of here, so I'll carry us through and just keep going to baseball. I don't know where Richie went. Baseball. We'll go around the horn here, and then we'll finish up the show. We told you this would be a quick one, 20, 30 minutes, and get out of here so that I can go to dinner. But baseball struggled to start the weekend, lost their first 2 games against Pittsburgh, struggled to start this game, started out down 3-0. Today, tied it up 3-3 when I wrote the outline, and then the last update that I saw, Florida State led. What was the score? Florida State led 7-3, the last that I saw, in the bottom of the 6th, and believe that is moved on even farther to the 7th or 8th now at this point. But I'm not watching because we're on here, obviously. So hopefully we get Richie back soon. There he is. He's got to upgrade that Cromartie internet, so he's not dropping off in the middle of things. But I went around the horn. I finished up with baseball. Like I just told the people, Richie, I'll update you as well since you weren't on here. But now they're up. They were down 3-0 to start this game. Now up 7-3 late in the game. They play Mercer.
Good to hear, yeah.
Finally, an ACC win after struggling for the first 2 against Pitt. They play Mercer on Tuesday, UVA this weekend, so they can kind of get back on the right track, hopefully with a win today, and kind of improve and keep things going in the right direction after that.
And it's early, so no need to push the panic button. The only alarming thing to me, man, I think we had 35 strikeouts in 2 games between Friday and Saturday. But again, it's been a weird preseason. They haven't been able to do everything the way they would like to. So I'm not concerned yet. We still have a great pitching staff. Just got to get the bats going a little bit and clean up, make sure, just pick up the ball and get these guys out. So again, not overly concerned. It's super early baseball. I think they're playing 40-something games this year as opposed to what they normally would play. But, unfortunate. But like you mentioned, shout out to Coach Brooke. Big win for women's hoops. Great win for softball, taking the series this weekend. A lot of good things going on outside of our basketball team.
Basketball team still in a great position to,
big time,
like you said,
time.
win the conference. And so hopefully we see that this week.
Florida State fans are officially spoiled when we're like, man, I can't believe we lost at North Carolina. That's a game we should have won, because 20 years ago, that's something none of us Florida State fans ever would have said.
And it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch basically all of the sports dominate. I'm ready to see football do that again soon, which we all are ready for. But that's it. That's all. We wanted to go around the horn real quick, talk a little bit about what has happened at Florida State the last week. Quick listen. If you're watching this, if you could share it, if you're listening to it, if you could tag us in a post on iTunes, let us, or on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, wherever. Share this with your friends. We appreciate it. And we look forward to continuing to be back with you guys every week. Quicker episode again this week, but wanted to give you an update on what's going on around the horn there. Richie, do you have any shout outs? I heard you're going to a bachelor party this weekend. You said, what's going on? What kind of shout outs you got this week?
Yeah, I'll save that for next weekend. Good buddy Cody getting married. UF grad, unfortunately, but I'm excited to be in his wedding and plan the bachelor party. Shout out Tiger Woods, man. Obviously, bad car accident this week. Still in the hospital. Hopefully, he'll be sent home soon. And I thought it was really cool. A lot of the golfers, Tony Finau, Rory, a lot of the guys wearing it black and red today at the WGC Championship. That Brooks Koepka is within 3 strokes right now, but he's not getting the putts he needs. But, shout out Tiger. He's probably my favorite athlete of all time since growing up. Just always been a fan of his. So hate seeing that car accident. And just hope he gets better. And I love seeing all the black and red on the tour tonight.
Really, really cool. As I was scrolling the timeline earlier, to see everybody wearing the black and red. I think I'll wear black and red tonight when I go out, just in honor of Tiger. And I don't think anybody's going to confuse me with a PGA player, but I'm going to try it anyway. Put on a black hat and see if my wife yells at me for, babe, it's for Tiger. I mean, our anniversary
happens every year. To a nice steakhouse, yeah.
Yeah, they tell me to take it off, and I'm like, it's for Tiger. Come on, please. I don't know that I have. Shout out my wife. Yeah, our 7th anniversary tomorrow.
You don't want to miss that one.
I mean, she doesn't listen, so. But shout out Kara, 7th anniversary tomorrow.
Congrats!
So
that's awesome.
Thank you. So excited to go out. We're dropping the kids off at my in-laws and then going out. So that'll be fun. And then we're kid free tomorrow for our anniversary. So that's fun too. So shout out her. I've talked about this a little bit here and there on this show, but shout out I have a new podcast that's coming out on Tuesday. It's called Bourbon on a Budget. If you're in any kind of whiskey, bourbon, rye, we're not doing so much scotch, but if you're in any of that stuff or want to get into it, check out Bourbon on a Budget. You can go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, all of those. Bourbon on a Budget comes out. First episode. We taped it 2 weeks ago, so we're a couple weeks delayed in getting it out intentionally. The content's kind of evergreen. It's not like sports where you have to talk about it and release it right away. So we wanted to get a few under our belt. We're releasing the first one on Tuesday, so check that out. Shout out to Brendan Sinone of Knowles 247 and my buddy Ben Cock, who I graduated with. We've had some fun on the first couple of episodes. So excited to get that one out Tuesday morning. I'll retweet it from the pod account here. I picked the song last week, Richie. This one is on you.
So I thought this might be coming. I'm gonna throw this back.
It's a little. It's pretty obvious. Like who, it's just gonna go back.
I'm gonna throw it back a little bit because I was looking actually today for songs that reference Tiger Woods. So give me Kanye's "So Appalled." He's got a really good Tiger reference in there.
So appalled. All right, let's do it. We will see you next week. Next week should be, unless something crazy happens, next week should be our normal time on Sunday evening. I know we went 3 straight Mondays, and then now we're on a Sunday afternoon. Should be normal time next Sunday evening, 7, 8 o'clock, somewhere around there. I've got a guest most of the way locked up, but a pretty good recruiting insider.
Yeah.
That's a national guy. It's not like one of our local Tallahassee guys that we hear from all the time. Excited to hear his thoughts on Norvell, the team, the program in general, and then where we're at in recruiting. So we will see you guys next week. If you could share, again, retweet, share, put this in group messages with your friends. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, Double Fries Pod. We'd appreciate it. And until next time, go Noles.